Welcome back, everybody.
We're back.
About the Over, episode 22. We're coming at you on this Wednesday afternoon as usual. I still actually have to update the banner in the channel, like the channel banner, because it says new episodes every Tuesday. So look out for that update. We'll get to that. We also, I feel like, need a new logo, but
we gotta create a new one.
Yeah, I feel like we need something cooler, something a little more like
more unique,
something a little more like 2024 graphic designy.
Yeah, but we're 11 weeks in.
I know. It feels like the season started yesterday.
I know. It really does. It goes by fast.
It's wild, man.
We're
especially
22
when both
episodes
of our
in,
teams absolutely blow.
It's both our teams are eliminated before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
This is like the probably fifth time in 6 years this has happened for the Giants, at least.
For the Jets, it's been like you were 7-10 the last 2 years, and majority of the beginning of the season was all positive, and then the latter half of the season is where you start to see issues.
The wheels fall off.
Yeah, and it really blows, man, because this year, honestly, like I'm so used to now. I know it's only been 2 years, but I'm so used to now watching them fall off later. So December is still Jets hype time, and now it's just not at all. I mean, I guess you still aren't mathematically out, but
you got 4% chance of making it, probably like around there, right?
It's 2%, and if you win out, it's a 92% chance. But I'll say that I personally still think they have a shot, but all delusion has fallen off.
No, the Cardinals. The Cardinals ended the Jets season.
Yeah, and I definitely have a lot to talk about as far as that game goes. I don't know. Maybe we can get into it if Alec ends up joining soon. But I don't know. Just the current state of New York football is so upsetting.
Well, Buffalo is good.
Yeah, right.
That's about it.
We're gonna have to become Buffalo fans.
I know.
I just want to see a playoff game.
First half of the season will be Jets and Giants fans, and then second half of the season will be Buffalo Bills fans.
That might have to be the case, because you know what sucks, man. Like I'm a Jets fan, but I actually really like Josh Allen. Like I'll root for Josh Allen. You know,
he's likable. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'd like to see the Bills in a Super Bowl, but I have a feeling it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions.
You think it's going to be Chiefs Lions?
There's that one analyst guy. I don't know. I forgot his name, but he predicted like the last 5, and he got it right. And he's got Chiefs Packers this year, which is definitely possible. Like I could see that.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know, bro. The Chiefs really didn't look that good this week. I know they won, but they won on a blocked field goal with 3 seconds, time expiring.
That's exactly the problem, though, Kev.
That was crazy.
That's the problem. The NFL just wants the three-peat.
You can't pull that off in the playoffs.
I called that block kick. I swear, I called it.
Yeah.
You can ask Amy. You can ask Nick. You can ask Bridget. They were all here. I called it. I said, watch, it's going to be blocked. They don't want the Chiefs to get an L.
No.
And I called it right before, and it happened. And how often does that happen? You want to know the stat line for blocked field goals this year?
Maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe.
I think that was the second one.
Really?
Of the season, yeah.
Well, the Giants have one. The Chiefs have one. Do the Jets not have one?
I'm probably wrong. Let me look this up.
Bro, you can't say what are the stats and then just list the stat that's not even backed up.
No, hold on.
Bro just made up his own stats.
No, I didn't make it up. I saw a conspiracy TikTok, but I want to confirm this.
Well, if there's been 2 blocked kicks, it's been the Giants and the Chiefs. Because I think that's about it. There's got to be more. I mean, dude, does extra points count?
Oh, so yeah, let's not talk about how many there are.
Bro, it's probably one every 2 weeks. Maybe one every week. Is there one every week?
No, kind of.
Bro, how many blocks have there been? 11?
Sorry, I think something's wrong with these. Like, what is going on here? I literally think like my Christmas lights are gonna set my room on fire because I smell something burning,
Bro.
and I'm starting to think that that's in here.
That'd be good for views if your apartment lit on fire.
It's not hot though. I don't know, man. I smelled something burning, and like I thought it was just like my sister cooking, but it couldn't be because I usually don't smell that in here. And the other day, my outlet was like popping. So
All right, so no
sorry
fire.
to get off track there.
So no fire.
No, we're good.
All right. Let's go into the Jets game, I guess. I didn't watch it as much, honestly. I watched red zone highlights. I saw they kind of got destroyed, right?
They did.
Like, what was it? Did they even score before halftime?
I'll break it down for you. The Jets kicked 2 field goals on their first 2 opening drives, and there were no points scored the rest of the game.
So they had 6, and didn't Arizona have like 21?
31. The
30.
The Cardinals had 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives.
Damn. What happened to the defense, bro?
Ever since Salah's been gone, it's like they don't want to play.
They've been mid, yeah. That's actually a stat too, because I saw on Instagram it was like since Salah's been gone, I think they've given up the most points in the league.
Well, clearly, Jeff Ulbrich is in over his head with this interim head coaching job, man, and it's so frustrating because I like Jeff Ulbrich. A lot of people do. He was a great defensive coordinator, and he was one of Robert Saleh's staff members. So, like Woody, you really couldn't just try benching. You couldn't try putting Hackett, like sending Hackett to McDonald's first. Like you had to fire Saleh and change the play caller in the same week. You couldn't just give Saleh the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
Like
you think
whatever.
Woody
like,
Johnson
of course,
jumped the gun?
Robert Saleh wasn't a good coach. I think we were poorly coached with Robert Saleh, and I think we're not coached at all with Jeff Ulbrich.
So you think the owner jumped the gun with firing Saleh?
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? A lot of analysts at the time, a lot of these storylines that the Jets have surrounded themselves with this season, all of the analysts talk about them as bad, like call them out for bad moves. And they always end up being right. And it sucks. Because from a Jet fan, you just think, oh, the Nick Wrights and the Colin Cowards of the world are just saying this stuff because they hate the Jets. They don't like Aaron Rodgers. But they're right. They end up being right. How I just don't understand. Even like bad teams can accidentally score touchdowns. You arguably have the best roster in the league, and you score 6 points.
Yeah.
How does that happen? The Panthers score touchdowns every week.
What's even the problem? Like I don't watch the game.
I don't know. I don't know where you go from here.
Is it the
know.
offensive line?
Well, also they missed 20 tackles in the Cardinals game, which was
I saw
the most Sauce team. Yeah.
I saw the one where Sauce tried to tackle, I think it was Trey McBride, and he like literally bounced off of him and then ran for like 20 more yards.
Well, you know what it is? They let bad things snowball them into the loss. So if something like that happens where Trey McBride throws Sauce off on a critical 3rd down where you were going to make that tackle and basically stop them when they were nonstop driving on you and scoring touchdowns, not to mention that drive ended in another touchdown. You have something like that happen, and it's like that's it. It just snowballs into more bad stuff, and then they essentially just give up on the game.
They just quit right there and then.
They do. It was the same thing with the Steelers game. Rodgers throws that pick at halftime, or right before halftime. Steelers go down, score a touchdown, minute left, and then that's it. And then you end up losing 37-31 unanswered points. So it's these negative things that, I'm assuming it's a coaching thing, but what do you fix? What do you do from here? Like, I don't understand. You can't hold guys accountable. Sure. What does that mean? What are you not going to play someone? I'm not against that.
Like benching people.
Like, if Sauce Gardner has such a bad game, or many bad games, if we're talking about this season, just take him out. I hate to say it, you can't bench your star player like that, but who's to say that you don't bring in a corner that wants to make a name for himself? And at this point in the season, when you're looking this bad, take him out for a game. Show him, like, dude, you gotta play better. You gotta play better. Or you're not gonna see the field. I know you can't do it, but it's just everybody talks.
It'd be a tough look if they did.
You can't do it. But and everybody talks about accountability, but how do you hold these guys accountable? You can't make them do push-ups. You can't make them do. You can't use physical or negative. You can't use negative reinforcement with like physical stuff.
Because they're not going to make them run laps.
They're not going to do it though. Yeah, exactly. Because they want to be looked at like grown men, but they're not. You got Sauce going on Twitter, tweeting and then deleting the tweet right away.
What did it say?
So that Matt O'Leary guy, he's like a big Jets talk show guy. He does like YouTube and stuff. He basically said something about Sauce missing tackles being bad, and then Sauce responded to the tweet and said, "Yeah, me missing that tackle was 100% the reason we lost." It was like it was longer than that, and he said more stuff. I can try and pull up the tweet here.
I mean, Sauce has been called out numerous times this season, I feel like.
He has also said he's going to delete. He also supposedly deleted. He also supposedly deleted
Twitter,
social media 3 times. So.
And then he's like tweeting like an hour later after he says he deleted it.
Okay. So he said, "Yep, I'm 100% sure me missing that tackle at the beginning of the second quarter for a gain of 17 yards was the costliest miss, and that is in fact what lost us the game. Critical third down there, Sauce. Early in the game, you don't miss that tackle, they don't score again, and then maybe your offense puts up some points before the half. So, I don't know, especially when you have a team like this that completely folds when something bad happens. I don't know what more to do. This whole Rodgers experiment has to be the biggest like fumbled season of all time by any team.
Yeah, I mean,
he said today too that he in an interview he said he wants to come back next year. He said he wants to play in 2025. You know what I see happening? I don't know if he's going to be back with the Jets.
I was going to say he said he wants to be back. But...
Watch him go to another team and win a Super Bowl with another team. I'm telling you, it's something. This team is cursed. This team is cursed.
What team could he even go to?
I don't know, like the Titans or something,
bruh.
Like really though, where could
the
he
Titans?
Go? Giants.
He could. He could go to the Giants at this
Giants
point.
are a quarterback away.
No,
arguably
they still have holes. I don't. If the Giants are picking in the top like 3 picks, though, there's no way they're gonna like sign Rodgers instead of drafting a quarterback.
Can he ask for a trade again though? Like, do you do that? If you're Woody Johnson, do you agree to that? Do you do that?
I mean, they could probably shop him, see what they get, but
yeah.
Usually teams have a price and they like won't give the guy up. Like if Woody Johnson's like, I want a 1st round pick, people aren't going to give that to the Jets, but the Jets might be stingy and be like, yeah, we're not going to trade you. That's what happened with like a lot of the Giants players this offseason, midseason. They wanted to trade Ojulari, a pass rusher who's actually pretty good, Slayton, who's been decent. But they're like, yeah, we set our price that they want like a certain round pick, and other teams weren't willing to give them that pick, so they ended up staying on the team.
Yeah, it's confusing. Are you so if that were to be a thing, that trade, like what are you giving up for him? Like are you going for an all-in season if you take him?
You're saying the Giants?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're still not good enough to just get a quarterback and be like that good. They need
That's true.
A little more help. They need another like corner. They need another safety. They can use another offensive lineman. But there are pieces in place. That's why I'm not completely upset about this season, because
your rebuild is farther along than the Jets rebuild would be.
Oh yeah, well the Jets are like the Jets rebuild would just be starting as soon as the season ended,
Well,
basically.
supposedly, if you and I have another quote here. If you give me a moment,
Yeah.
because this is pretty interesting here.
Like the Giants, their defense line is good. It's young for the most part. You got Burns, who's I think like 26, 27. You got Lawrence, who's 27 or 28.
Mm-hmm.
They have Kayvon, who's young as well. I think he's 25. They kept Aziz Ojolari, the guy I was just saying they wanted to trade. He's not that old either. He's only like 25 or 26. So their whole defensive line is young. They've got Micah McFadden at linebacker. He's also young. I think this is his second year, so he's young and he's promising. They got Okereke. He's like upper 20s. He's probably the oldest player I've named so far. Their corners are young, but they're not very good. And then they have Drew Phillips, the rookie this year. He was on pace to win like defensive rookie of the year at one point. I don't know if he is anymore. They have Newman, who's a good safety. Like they're young. Most of their team is pretty young. So that's why the Giants are kind of in a good spot. And then their wide receivers, Wan'Dale's young, Malik's young. Slayton's older, but I think they're going to move on from him eventually. They were supposed to move on from Slayton for the past like 3 years.
Yeah, but I feel like the receiver core doesn't look too bad. You just need
No,
a guy
the
to throw
receiving
them.
core hasn't been that bad. Yeah. I mean, they could use probably one more like good wide receiver. Most teams you could say that for, though. But for the most part, their wide receiving core has been decent. Their O-line's been all right. Ever since Andrew Thomas went down, they've been bad. But when he was playing, Andrew Thomas, their offensive line was actually like pretty good. I think it was like top 15 or whatever. They were in the top half of the league. So that's good. And Andrew Thomas is young. Their right tackle is a little bit older, Illuminor. They got Schmitz in center. This is his second season. He's actually been doing all right. Their guards are a little bit older, so they could get a little bit younger on the offensive line. Wide receivers are young. Running backs, they have Tracy, the rookie this year, that's been going crazy, bro. 25 years old. He's an older rookie, but still, he's only 25. Like, I keep alluding to age, but that's the one thing the Giants really have. I know they're not that good, but for the most part, they're all pretty young and inexperienced. So hopefully they use this as a learning experience. They draft a good quarterback, and then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Is Jones is obviously gone. Get a quarterback and see what Dable can do with him. Because you got Sheen and Dable staying, right?
Supposedly, I don't know.
I don't see how you fire Dable though.
I know, but I can't.
2
see
years
them
ago, coach of the year and playoff win.
I know, and I can't see them firing Dable and then keeping Shane. I feel like
I just think
fire one.
I just think yeah, that's true. Especially since Shane hired him, so it's like whatever. Maybe you got this team to the playoffs a couple of years ago. I think it's only fair to give him a chance with another quarterback.
Yeah, because when he came into the role, like he had Jones, he really didn't have a choice. And then the first year he had him, Dable had DJ playing pretty well. The problem with him is like it just seems limited with him there. He can't like throw it deep. And it might be because the offensive line doesn't give enough time. But he doesn't throw deep. This year he's been inaccurate, which he usually isn't.
No, it's not even inaccurate. He's just of course he's been inaccurate too, but the decision making is terrible.
His decision making has always been kind of bad.
That's the thing. That's like where that was the biggest problem, and that's what causes turnovers.
Yeah. And like this past week when they played their past game, who did they even play?
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina. There was one play where they ran play action and DJ literally had two guys wide open. They were both, he could have threw it to either one. There was only two guys running routes.
Yeah.
They were both open and he just didn't throw the ball. Like, I don't know what's the problem with him. I think his confidence is just so low and he's kind of realizing like he had so much pressure on him going into this season. Like he had to play well or else they were going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where he kind of realizes like, yeah, I'm done here. So I don't know. Maybe he's probably mentally checked out as well.
I feel like that's got to play a role in that as well. He's definitely, as if anything bad happens, he's not like thinking in his head, we can bring this back at this point.
Oh yeah, no.
You know,
As soon
so
as
it's
he
like
turns the ball over, he's like, "Damn,
that's
where
what I
am I
mean.
going next
You
year?"
know, so I don't know. It sucks, man.
Yeah,
It's so frustrating to not see at least one of them doing well. One of these teams doing well right now.
I feel like the Jets are probably worse though, because going into the season, the Giants like they weren't expected to be good, so at least I kind of saw it coming. Like the
Yeah.
Jets were supposed to be good.
Well,
Like
that's the
on
problem.
paper, like
Yeah.
you said, their roster is good. Their defense should be very good. Their
I just don't
offense should
see how
be
you have
decent. Like if you,
Devontae Adams, Brees Hall, Aaron Rodgers, and Garrett Wilson, and you can't score one touchdown.
yeah,
Come on,
it
man.
really.
You know,
Is it the offensive line? I feel like it has to be.
I
Is there?
mean, they don't look great. Morgan Moses is a dog, but that's really that's really all you got.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith has been super inconsistent. Olu's doing okay at guard.
Are they giving up a lot of sacks? Like I don't understand how they're doing so bad.
Rodgers gets like decent pressure, but I feel like it hasn't been. I feel like getting sacked hasn't been an issue. We can look at these stats.
A lot of the times when I watch Jets games, it's usually Rodgers throwing to Devontae. Like they just don't seem like they're on the same page. Like Devontae will
Well,
run
that's
a
another
curl.
thing. He missed it.
Yeah,
He missed him on like a 10-yard hitch.
he misses them
He
all the
thought
time. I
Devontae was
feel like.
going one way. He thought Devontae was going one way, but he was going the other way or something like that. They haven't been able to connect at all. Rodgers has been sacked 20 times this year.
20 times in 11
Yeah.
games. So he gets sacked like twice per game about.
He was sacked 3 times last game against the Cardinals.
I mean, twice a game. I feel like that's probably around league average. So it's not sacks. They
It's
can't
not.
run the ball, I feel like, either.
Well, that's
Like,
another thing. Yeah, they can't because the pass protection's been okay, but the run blocking has been terrible. And you know what it is though? The problem is Brees Hall is not a good running back unless he has space. So you got to get him in space. And then he can make the move and he can break loose and that's where those big 60, 70-yard runs come from.
so is he bad like in between the tackles is what you're saying?
Yeah, like if he gets touched, he's going down.
Hmm.
You got to get him in space. That's the thing. And that was the whole plan going into the season, that Rodgers wasn't going to be throwing the ball a bunch. But he's thrown the second most passes in the league.
Hmm.
So the whole game plan's gone off the rails.
Yeah, I feel like they threw the ball a lot against Arizona.
We're supposed to be a run first team.
They threw the ball a lot against Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah. He threw the ball 35. He's averaging 35.1 attempts a game.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Against the Vikings, I remember he threw 54 times. Yeah. Against the Broncos, 42. Yeah, exactly. It's and Brees can't get it go. Brees is inconsistent. Braylon Allen is not bad, but he's just like a 4th and 1 back.
Yeah, he's a short yardage guy.
So frustrating, dude. Like, and some of this stuff is just so Jets, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like when they scored that first touchdown, it was like a big James Conner, like 40, 50-yard run, and then they got in the end zone. So once that happened, I was like, okay, offense, like you guys gotta, like Rodgers, you've been saying like this offense has to score 30 every week. So come on, do it. Like you can't kick a field goal here. And then they go and kick a field goal. And the second they kicked that field goal, I knew I knew we were going to lose that game, just because we couldn't get any pressure on Kyler. Like defense looked abysmal coming out of the gate. Like I honestly, I didn't even expect them to win. Yeah, I was like all hyped for my 9-0 prediction or whatever. But I had a feeling Jets having 9 days to prepare. Same thing happened 2022, 2023. After the bye week, after the mini buys, we always perform terribly. Going into the Vikings game, going into the Denver game after the mini buy against the Patriots in week 3, we had 10 days to prepare for the Broncos, for Bo Nix in MetLife. And
I remember that.
Came out flat, man. And it just happened. And, I thought, okay, we got Ulbrich this time. Maybe it was a Saleh issue, because the past 3 years, maybe they didn't prepare very well because of Saleh. Maybe he had some kind of regimen where he didn't, he took a more relaxed approach towards having a little bit of time off. And so I thought maybe with Ulbrich it would be different, but nope, came out. That was probably one of the worst Jet games I've seen since the Gase era.
Which one? The last week? This past
week?
The
The Cardinals game, yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
6 points is bad. Yeah.
I mean, bro, you go from this team is lost. The most this team has lost by was the Steelers game all season. And if you take out the Steelers and the Cardinals game, they haven't lost by more than 10 points.
Yeah, but I feel like most NFL games are pretty close. Like, look at the Giants versus the Commanders. I feel like when they play last week, I think they lost by 10.
Well, that's what I mean. Even bad teams can score touchdowns. Even if it's accidentally, they can score touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this is an issue with the Jets, and I thought we were past games like this. You have Aaron Rodgers now. And these are Zach Wilson losses.
Yeah, like I'll go through the Giants as well. They lost by a lot against Minnesota week 1. I remember that was bad. Against the Commanders in week 2, bro, they only lost
How
by
many
3.
touchdowns did the Giants score in that game against Minnesota?
They kicked 2 field goals, so
Oh, really?
they pulled the Jets. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know.
No, they got annihilated the week 1. But then week 2, they scored 18, lost 18-21, so they lost by 3. Against the Browns, they won. Cowboys, they lost by 5. Like, that's not that bad. Seattle, they won. Bengals, they lost by 10. Yeah, but all the games they don't score a lot of points. That's their biggest problem. It's always been the offense.
I mean, hey man, look at the Panthers. I mean, in the first game against the Chargers, they scored 3 points only. But look at the next couple games. The Panthers scored 36, 24, 10, 20, 7, 14, 23, 20, And that's not to say the Jets haven't been scoring points. But did they just not game plan at all for this Cardinals defense?
I don't know. I really don't know why they couldn't score. Like, I would have expected
They were
the
in, dude.
Cardinals
They had like 5 drives that were over 10 plays and nothing to show for it. You have 5 drives that are over 10 plays, all into the red zone, nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how the Jets didn't score. I understand why the Cardinals scored. Like, I thought this game was going to be a shootout.
That's what I thought. That we haven't played a shootout game this year.
I know. But the Jets offense obviously couldn't keep up with the Cardinals, but 6 points is kind of inexcusable, bro. How do you score 6 points? You should be able to score at least 20.
You don't even need a coach to score more than 6 points with that roster.
They should have put up minimum 20 points.
Yeah.
Like, no, they should have scored 2 touchdowns and then maybe kick 2 field goals. And
like I said, I thought they would lose this game because that's just what the Jets do, but I did not expect this.
Yeah, like they got dominated. I think we should do, for the next segment, we should do like kind of how you think the rest of the season's going to pan out. I know both of us are kind of just preparing for the offseason at this point, but I don't know, maybe you believe the Jets are probably going to win some games like randomly.
But do you even want that? Do you even want that?
No, you don't. And the Giants, like, at this point, I don't think they're going to win. I thought they would sneak out like 2 or 3 wins randomly. But their upcoming schedule, honestly, isn't that easy. So next week they play the Bucks. They're going to lose. That's an easy Bucs dub. Then they play the Cowboys. The Cooper Rush-led Cowboys would probably still beat the Giants, realistically. Micah Parsons came back this week, and he literally wreaked havoc. What team were they playing? Whatever team they were playing, like, he destroyed them. Was it Philly?
The Eagles.
Yeah, it was Philly. Yeah, he went crazy. Philly still, like, dominated them. And then they play the Saints.
It's unbelievable. The Cowboys are a disappointing team right now, too.
Yeah, I mean they lost Dak, but they didn't look good before.
No,
Dak.
they're 3-5 or something like that.
I think they're 3-5. No, wait, no,
they're 3-6.
Yeah, 3-6. They didn't look good with Dak anyway, but
at least Dak, if they don't make the playoffs, they can't get eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, that is the positive. The next game they got the Saints. They can't get eliminated if they don't make it. Next game they got the Saints. 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, yeah, I think they're going to beat the Saints. After what just happened, like losing to Carolina, bro, the Saints, it's like 50-50 at this point. I'm not confident about them beating the Saints at all.
Well, Saints got a new coach now.
Yeah.
They won. Saints
they have
won.
Some momentum.
Who'd they beat?
They
beat a good team. They beat the Falcons.
Atlanta, yeah. Interdivision.
Yeah.
So you have the Saints. So right there, if they get 3 L's there, they're screwed for the rest of the season. Because then they play Baltimore, they're gonna get creamed. Falcons, they're gonna get crushed. Maybe they could put up a fight against the Colts. The Colts will bring back AR. So maybe they could do that. And then January 5th, they play the Eagles. They're gonna get annihilated by them as well. So all in all, bro, At this point, it's best to lose. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Like if they start beating teams, I'm gonna be tight because this is what happened last year.
You need to get a top 4 pick if you're the Giants, man.
If they go out and beat the Cowboys, the Saints, and then like the Colts, I'm gonna be tight because it's like, bro, what are you winning these games for? I think Daniel Jones is gonna get benched anyway, so Drew Lock's gonna come in, and then if the team rallies around Drew Lock and they start winning games, I'm gonna be
But
sick to my stomach.
that's the stuff that happens, man. It's like the Jets too, you know. We should be losing the rest of these games, and I just know that they're gonna go 7-10 or something.
Yeah, like they'll win 6 games somehow and just be middle of the pack draft pick.
Yeah,
and then you're just in the you're in a rock in a hard space because it's like, do you trade up to get a quarterback? I mean, Roger said he'll be back, so probably not.
Me personally, I'm drafting a quarterback regardless, and then I think you bring Rodgers back for one more year. You let him sit behind him, because the Jets have never done that. We always start our rookie quarterbacks, and it's just like the most successful quarterbacks are the ones that get to sit for a little bit and learn how it is to be in the NFL.
The problem is with the recent success, like CJ Stroud, like Burrow in his first season was pretty good. Jaden Daniels now. Every quarterback that gets drafted in the first round is just expected to come in and be amazing. They which is not the case most of the time. Even look at Caleb Williams. He doesn't even look that good.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a big coaching issue with Eberflus in Chicago.
Yeah,
I think you get rid of that whole coaching staff. Caleb is young. I think he's got a lack of confidence right now.
Yeah,
I think you got to blow that up and fire everybody, and then see how he does next year.
Yeah,
I don't like him though. I don't like
Bryce Young as well. Yeah, I don't like Caleb either.
Yo, good for Bryce though. I was kind of hyped for him.
Yeah, Bryce Young last year though. He was the number 1 pick, easy lock. The Panthers traded up for him.
People say the Panthers definitely regret not getting Stroud, but you're telling me if Stroud was with the Panthers right now, he'd be doing as good as he's been doing with the Texans. You know,
that's why I truly think, I say this a lot, I truly think that the situation the quarterback goes to is
of course
more important. Honestly.
Who's the coach of the Texans? Because he was new.
DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, DeMeco Ryans. He's the guy that's turned this whole thing around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those guys really like him.
Yeah, he was a beast on the Niners too. I'm pretty sure he's the defensive coordinator, and the entire team loved him. Similar to Saleh, right? Saleh was the DC on the Niners.
And Saleh's been at Green Bay practices.
I know, and he's been getting hype with the team, right?
I would not be surprised if we see the Packers in the Super Bowl this year.
You keep saying that. Why?
I just think the best way to stick it to the Jets would be to see Saleh go to a Super Bowl somehow.
Bro. But you say the best team in football is the Lions.
I think so, but you know.
I mean, I could agree.
Anybody could beat them.
They could, but at that
dude, the NFL just wants to stick it to Rodgers, bro.
The Lions would play the Packers in the playoffs, so you're taking the Pack?
Probably. If I see the Lions and the Packers playing, if I see that as the NFC Championship game, I'm taking the Packers. I like the Lions though. I would rather the Lions, but to be honest, I like Jordan Love too, so I don't know.
The Lions are definitely a likable team, and I don't even mind Green Bay either.
Yeah, I like Jordan Love a lot.
Let's go to the Jets schedule now. Pull that up on the stream, and then we'll kind of break down what they're going to do. I think the Jets are going to win.
Thing is,
random games.
It's such a winnable schedule. Besides maybe Buffalo, but it's such a you can win out with this schedule. But the thing is, they won't because they just cannot figure it out.
Yeah,
you cannot score. You cannot only score 6 points in a game after you just basically played lights out defense against the Texans, regardless of their O-line issues, regardless of their lack of 2 receivers. I get it. But still, you can't score 6 points.
And then
I understand the defense has been playing bad, but our offense has no excuse. They should have kept themselves in that game, and the defense wouldn't have let 31 points up. You know how this team works. It's like I said, it snowballs, man. The negative stuff snowballs.
It goes downhill fast, right?
You can beat the Colts, which they probably will. They'll probably beat the Colts this week, and then
AR-led Colts. Do you think they got it?
I think they'll beat the Colts this week at home. I think they'll mount some kind of fake comeback again and then get everybody's hopes up because that's what the Jets do, especially with Rodgers. They need to stay relevant. So Rodgers can go on McAfee and say some stuff again.
And then Seattle. So Seattle's at the Jets. Yeah. So the Jets are home again on
I
December
don't think they
1st.
string 2 wins in a row together again for the rest
So
of
you
the
think
season.
Seattle defeats them?
Probably. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then
Seattle's
also
not that
Miami,
bad
like I don't think we're going to beat Miami. I don't think we're going to beat
with Tua
Miami anymore.
back.
What's up?
With Tua back, you think Miami's
Well,
gonna
not
beat?
even that. The Miami just beat the Rams in a good
Yeah,
game.
and they looked good too.
Miami's like kind of rolling now. So now that they're rolling, they're gonna freaking steamroll us.
Do you think the Jets beat the Jaguars?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The Jets are more likely to beat the Bills than the Jaguars because that's just how they work. It's not, you don't look at it like, oh, the 49ers are playing the Panthers. Who's gonna win? You look at it like it's the Jets. They're gonna lose to the bad team. They're gonna lose to the bad teams when it matters, and they're gonna beat the good teams when it doesn't matter. That's literally how they work. And I've been a Jets fan for so long, and I hate it because that's what happens.
So the Jags, you think they're taking an L, and then they play the Rams on December 22nd? You think they're gonna catch a dub? Because the
Yeah,
Rams
probably.
aren't that bad.
Yeah,
They got
I
Puka
genuinely
and
feel like
Delp
they would
back.
lose to the Jags.
Yeah.
I wanna go over. I want to look at the AFC standings a little bit, because I just want to show you how disappointing it is. The Jets, if there was a year to break the no playoff streak, this was the year. Because just look at the AFC right now, dude. It's up for grabs, dude.
Yeah, they would be. What are they? Are they 3-7 right
They're
now?
3-7. You need 2 more wins, and you're in a wild card spot.
Yeah. So the Chargers and Broncos are the last 2 teams, right? That's where it's cut off.
Yes, the there's 3 wild card spots. So yeah.
3. Yeah. So yeah, they're literally 2 games out, basically.
Yeah. Yep. It's doable, man. It's doable. You got to win out. Teams got to lose. I personally feel like you can make the playoffs at 9-8 this year in the AFC. I think the Jets could definitely sneak in at 9-8.
Bro, the NFC is so crazy.
Dude, the Commanders are the 6th seed. Oh my god.
Yeah, and they're 7-3.
Wow.
Yeah, the NFC is definitely the tougher division. Like the Niners are on the bubble. The Bengals aren't NFC. They're like even the Rams and Seattle. They're on the bubble kind of.
If the Jets win, 20% chance for playoff probability.
Yeah. What are the Giants at? Go all the way down to the bottom.
Hey. You know what's funny? The Jets are one game. The Jets are 1 win out of 20% chance to make the playoffs, and they're 1 loss out of the number 1 pick.
Really?
So technically, if all of these teams won this week and the Jets lost and all of these teams won, the Jets would have the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but I think the Giants are.
The
Giants are
Giants,
2 right now.
the Giants might too. So they're a game out of being in contention for the first overall pick.
Yeah, but you'd need all like the shitty teams to win. You'd need like
the
Panthers,
of course,
the Raiders, the Jags.
Yeah, but
that won't all happen.
Would you ever have expected that before the season?
I mean, no, but anything's possible, bro. The only way I would have predicted that is if Rodgers would have gotten hurt again.
Has a 3-7 team ever made the playoffs?
Like maybe like once in the past decade. I doubt it though. A 3-7 team is crazy. Also, the season expanded. You know how there's one more game?
Yeah.
Like that probably increased the odds now and decreased it back like when there was only 16 games because
right.
When you were 3-7, you had 1 less game to make it up. And at that point, when you're 3-7, like you need a ton of things to go your way. You need to basically win out, and then you need all the teams above you like fighting for that bubble spot to lose out. I doubt it's happened like maybe once, maybe.
I mean, you get the Colts at home. I'm telling you, this is a Jets win game. And I'm not saying it out of delusion. I'm not saying it out of I think they're going to I don't even think they're a better team. I don't understand how they're favored by 3 points. But the Jets will win this game. They'll get everybody's hopes back up again. We'll start talking about the path to the playoffs again. But until this team wins at least 3 games in a row, I can't be convinced.
No, yeah, they need to win more than that. They need to win.
And it's scary because you got the Colts and then you have a bye week. And every time the Jets have their bye week, you know how they come back out. So
they come out flat.
I think if you can get a win and you can get to 4-7 at the bye, you maybe have a chance to have your owner come in and like really try and figure out what the hell is going on here. You know, what they're doing during practice. Dude, you had Ulbrich give the Jets a tackling every player a tackling drill today.
Bro.
They're
I mean, they
NFL
need it.
players. They're in the NFL, dude. They don't need tackling drills. They should know how to tackle.
No, they need it, bro. They can't tackle.
No, they can't tackle, but it's just it's embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, tackling, I feel like, I don't know. Sauce just like that one tackle with McBride. Sauce did not take a good angle, and he hit him up high. Like Sauce,
Exactly. That's the problem. The entire
pounds.
Jets team, they go for such high hits.
They try and like
Wrap
hit
them up,
stick
dude.
people, but it's
Wrap them up.
But if Sauce is running at you, Trey McBride's probably like 230, 240 at least, and Sauce is 190 maybe. Like, bro, you're not going to hit stick this guy. He's going to run you over. You have to hit him kind of low and wrap him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for the Jets and the Giants. Let's do you want to talk about potential offseason acquisitions or like areas where they can improve?
Yeah,
Let's say the season ended right now. Where would you go with the Jets? Like right now. Who's the first?
Jeff Ulbrich. I mean, not Jeff Ulbrich. I apologize. Joe Douglas is a dead GM walking.
All right. You'd fire the GM.
Yeah, he's done. You bring in a new GM and you bring in a new coach. Hopefully, somebody like Mike Vrabel. I'm cool with the Rex move. I think it would be good because you need somebody that's going to inspire this team. You need a real leader. You need somebody who's going to hold guys accountable. I'm convinced you put Dable with this Jets team beginning of this season. They're sniffing first place.
Bruh. You really like Dable.
I think you'd be a good coach because there's no discipline whatsoever, dude. You got all these Jets guys on social media, going on all these talk shows and stuff like that. Dude, just play football. I don't know. They need to practice, man. Like they need to practice more. They need to do something. They need to be more of a team.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that like I really think the Saleh firing really I think it upsets some people, and I think I think the fallout from that is really affecting the latter half of the season.
Yeah, specifically the defense. There is an obvious drop off of.
Well, supposedly when he was fired, there were a lot of players on the defense that weren't happy with it. You had Sauce saying that we're still playing for him. You know.
Yeah.
So
that's tough. So your first offseason move would be you'd get a new head coach and GM immediately.
Head coach and GM.
What position would you attack? Would you go D-line, O-line, quarterback, wide receiver?
You have to get the D-line back together.
Well, what's the biggest problem with the D-line? Is it interior or
you just got rid of all your good guys?
Pass rushers or like run stoppers?
I mean, yeah, I think Reddick wasn't Reddick just basically invisible. He's not really doing much aside from that Texans game. Like he just hasn't shown up. I think Huff and JFM, I think getting rid of them was just so why couldn't we hold on to them? You know?
Yeah. Who's JFM? Jonathan Franklin Myers?
Yeah. And he's doing good with the Broncos now.
Yeah.
So the whole D line got tossed up, man. I think you fix the D line. The secondary's fine. The O line, the thing is, you have 1 year guys there. I think you keep Morgan Moses. He really is a good leader. I think CJ Mosley not being there is really messing up the defense a little bit. Like they're really missing his leadership.
Yeah, he's still good.
He's old and he's not great, but I don't see him ever touching the football field again. He's got a neck injury. He's what is he, 32?
Yeah, I think he's early 30s.
Yeah.
He was a beast on the Ravens. I'm pretty sure that's where he came from, right?
I think all of our a lot of our players came from the Ravens. But yeah, I believe so.
Baltimore Jets.
Yeah. I mean, I'd draft a quarterback, let him sit behind Rodgers. I would really like to draft a quarterback round 1.
So you want to go first round quarterback in this upcoming draft?
I don't think they will, but I would.
Yeah.
I'd honestly, I wouldn't be against starting Jordan Travis the rest of the season. If Rodgers wants to come back next year, maybe. I mean, this would also never happen. You have Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to sit. But if you started Jordan Travis the rest of the season, let him let's see how he is. That'll give you an answer as to whether or not you need to draft a quarterback or you need to build this guy up with Rodgers next year.
He's healthy, right, Travis?
Yeah, he can play.
Because he came off a torn ACL, right?
He's a healthy scratch, but he's healthy.
Okay. Well, maybe that is their backup plan. So maybe they won't draft another quarterback this year because he was
I don't know.
good.
No one said anything about him.
No.
All these Jets guys I watch are talking about drafting a quarterback, not using Travis.
Mm.
I'd like to see what he can do.
He came from Florida State, and he was the reason they were undefeated. Remember that whole scandal last year when Florida State was undefeated, but they weren't ranked in the top 4 schools, and everyone was bugging out.
I don't, but now I do.
Yeah, that's what happened. So they were undefeated, went into the college football playoffs. They weren't one of the top 4 teams, even though they didn't lose a game.
Mm-hmm.
The entire Florida State team was sick. Everyone was tight. Half the country was they deserve to be in the top 4. The other half was no. And then they played their bowl game and got absolutely annihilated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who'd they play?
I don't remember, but I remember they got crushed. Let's look it up. FSU. I wonder what bowl game it was. FSU bowl game 2023.
Looks like it was Georgia, and they lost 63-0, 63-3.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So after that happens, I feel like Florida State fans were all right, maybe it was good we weren't ranked within. But imagine if that was a close game. Imagine they won, how big of a riot there would be, and the entire Florida State team would be. But yeah, they got creamed by Georgia. Yeah, so that's what happened there. I'm going to go into the Giants now. So
yeah, for sure.
Their O-line is pretty good. Their tackles are good. I'm just nervous about Andrew Thomas because this is, I think, a third major injury in his 5 or 6 year career. So that's a little concerning. He might start getting labeled as injury prone. He's so good when he plays too. They signed the right tackle, Illuminor. I'm pretty sure it was only a 1-year deal, so I would bring him back because he's actually been pretty good. Schmitz is kind of a rookie center. He's locked up under contract. Their 2 guards are a little bit older. They have Runyon, Van Roten. Those are the 2 that have been starting. I would try and bring them back, but I would also go out into free agency, look for guards. They need basically 2 guards. Their wide receivers are pretty good. They could potentially add a better number 2, but I don't mind Malik, Wandale, and Darius Slayton. That's an average wide receiver core. I'd say maybe 16th, 17th best. It's not bad.
I feel like Malik lifted them up a bit too, man.
He did. He hasn't been doing as good lately, but it's also just been poor quarterback.
Wandale had a big issue with drops past couple of years, right?
I know.
Yeah,
no, this season specifically.
This season too? Oh, all right. I was gonna say maybe we saw a decline in that, but I guess not.
Obviously, the biggest point is quarterback. Jones is gone after the season. They're going to cut him. They're going to save a lot of money. They're going to save, I think, $40 million as soon as they cut him on the.
Right.
I think it's after June sometime. So I think going into the first round, they want to draft a quarterback. They want to draft a quarterback this past year. They wanted May or Jaden Daniels, and they didn't fall because they started winning randomly with Tommy Cutlets. So quarterback. I haven't really looked into the college ones. I'll get more into it in the spring. That's their number 1 area of concern because that's their biggest flaw right now. Defense, they look pretty good. They just need a second corner, which they could probably pick up in the draft, go second round, pick a corner. You could probably get a decent one. One more safety. And then other than that, their defense is pretty locked. They got a good defensive line, decent linebacker core. They need corner help pretty bad though, because Deontay Banks hasn't looked very good at all. So maybe attack the corner, and their secondary needs help. So offense, quarterback, defense, secondary. Those are the 2 biggest areas of concern with the Giants right now.
I see somebody saying that the Giants should take that Shador Sanders guy.
Shador?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably will get there. I've seen a lot of reports. I don't know why Giants fans are saying this might happen, but a lot of people are saying they're going to sign T. Higgins.
Really?
he's a free agent. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I
They
mean, T
signed T.
Higgins. I
Higgins.
feel like T's been trying to get out of there, right?
He just wants a contract, but they keep franchise tagging him. If T. Higgins went to the Giants, their wide receiver group would be like I'd say top 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Malik T and Wandale is like a crazy combo. The only problem is he's going to demand a lot of money, and he is injury prone, bro. He gets hurt every single year.
Yeah.
Like he's been out the past 4 weeks, I think, with a quad injury.
Yeah, he's like a Mike Williams type.
Yeah, he's a jump ball guy.
Yep.
I think he's better than Mike Williams, honestly. But
Oh yeah, 100%.
he's just as injury prone though. Do you see Mike
Isn't
Williams?
isn't it wild? Isn't it wild that Mike Williams caught that the game-winning touchdown in the Steelers game, and then the Jets lost right after we got rid of him? I'm telling you, man, these storylines like just go against the Jets in every possible way that they can.
They just don't know how to utilize their players.
Yeah, you're very right. You're very right. But how is that a consistent issue across every single coach, team, offensive coordinator? You know what I mean? Like, how is it just a consistent issue everywhere? I understand ownership, whatever. The owner needs to hire the right people, but still, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No,
There's not one of these. They're professional football coaches.
That's like the
and
Giants.
You can't get that offense to score any points.
I feel like they can't utilize their players properly either. Like they drafted a guy, Jalen Hyatt. I don't know if you know who he is. They drafted him last year.
Yeah, the tight end.
So fast. No, he's a wide receiver.
Oh, is he?
So fast. Like
yeah, it was supposed to be really good, right?
I think he was the fastest wide receiver in last year's draft. And he just hasn't even played at all. Like he'll get targeted maybe one time, like every other game. He doesn't get any targets.
Yeah, and watch. I bet you if he went somewhere else, he'd do well.
He'd do probably better, yeah. He can't do worse. He barely gets the ball. But it's just, I don't know. It's us New York football fans are just in a constant struggle state with our team.
You know, if this shit was fixed too, in some way, wouldn't you have one of the New York teams doing well?
Yeah, that's another argument why I don't think it's rigged, because New York has such a big market.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like New York is huge, and like you would definitely one of the New York teams would have to be a consistent dynasty.
Yeah, it would have to be not even a dynasty. They would just have to be like good.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Imagine the New York teams were just like Pittsburgh, where they always make the playoffs. They're a decent team.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh has so many fans because they're always like good for some reason. They don't win that
like
many.
The Cowboys too. Like the Cowboys, when's the last
Yeah.
time they missed the playoffs?
Missed the playoffs?
Well, they're about to now, but when's the last time they missed the playoffs before that?
It was when Dak got hurt. I remember a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think maybe 2019 or something. It was the first season of Joe Judge, because I remember the whole NFC East had like 6 wins, like 10 games into the season or something. No, less than that. They were 12 games into the season.
Yeah,
and everyone in the division had six wins. The entire division was horrible, and it was a battle for. And then the first team that made the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, I think they lost the first round. It might have been Philly. I'm pretty sure Philly won it that year. But, what were we saying before? Yeah, like New York teams would be at the top if it was rigged, because they generate so much revenue.
Yeah.
Think about it. Both New York Jets and Giants are horrible teams, and they're probably both within the top 10 of popularity.
Oh, the Jets have a insanely big fan base, and the organization does not deserve its fan base. I'll tell you that.
They have not performed for the fans.
These fans are so dedicated, dude. Like this, imagine being a fan for 50 years. You know, I've seen guys on these other shows that come on as like guests. And there's one guy that was a Jets fan for when they won the Super Bowl when he was 8.
When he was 8,
yeah,
and he's like 60 now.
And now just imagine that. Like I'm like me. What I've been watching seriously for like 5-10 years.
Yeah,
you know? And like,
I mean, same with me. I've been watching the Giants consistently for a decade now. They were good. Were you watching pretty consistently when they won the last Super Bowl? Not really. Not as much as I was now.
Yeah.
I think 2014, 2015 is really when I started watching consistently. Odell years. I remember the Odell draft, I think specifically, that was the year I was locked in. I watched like Odell's whole career blow up and then crash and burn from the New York perspective.
They shouldn't have got on that boat, bro.
I know. The worst decision they ever made. But yeah, it's just sad times for New York sports. But
I think one of them is going to come back next year.
Hopefully.
I don't know which one, but it'll probably be the Giants. The Giants just they don't even do anything, and they just have a good year where they make the playoffs.
I know, yeah. There's just a random
that year that they made it in 22. They were not planning on it.
Oh no, they were supposed to be horrible.
I don't think it was expected, and they went 11-6, right?
Yeah, they were projected to win 4 games that entire season, and then they randomly. It's always the first year of their new coach. Their first year of the new, even with Joe Judge, he was a horrible coach. He got fired after I think 2 seasons. His first season was the year I was alluding to before, where every team had 6 wins and they were battling in December to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were in it that year, and then the first year Dable comes in, they look amazing. They won 11 games. They didn't look amazing though. They were they would just stay in games and then squeak it out at the end. But it was promising because their roster wasn't that good at the time. So you're like, oh shit, they could potentially be good once they start building the pieces. They found their coach, and now look where we are. I have no idea what's going to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if Dable and Shane were fired at the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like you had a coach that could if you had a coach that could get you to 11-6 and make the playoffs and win a playoff game, you got to give him another shot with another quarterback, I feel like.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Should I trust Mara? Because Mara said their jobs aren't in danger right now, but who knows?
Right.
GMs kind of just say stuff all the time, and then they'll just end of the season. They'll be like, "Yeah, that's it."
I think they'll be back, but I don't think Giant fans should be upset that they are.
It's best case to just lose out at this point. Honestly, get a quarterback. We could get Shador, and I think the other one is Cam Smith or
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. Yeah. If you got one of those guys, the entire throwing to Malik, bro.
That's what I mean.
There's so much promise just in that.
It's easy to work them into an offense like that.
You have a wide receiver 1 accompanied by a quarterback that isn't Daniel Jones.
Right.
Bro, I'm sick of him.
Yeah, I would be too. It was like Zach Wilson. It was like, get rid of this man already. Even though I still think Zach would be good if he started playing with another team.
It's so sad to see him go too.
Yeah.
The reason he stayed around so long, Daniel Jones, is because he's such a likable guy. He's quiet.
That was
he was hardworking.
Yeah.
He did whatever the team told him to do. He definitely was trying. He's always tried. He
had those injuries last year. I still think the season last year wouldn't have been as terrible if he didn't have those bad injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, he was getting beat up. I don't know. But you want to go to the pick'ems now, or you got any last points about the Jets before we go to the pick'ems?
I basically said everything, man. I'm really frustrated with them right now. It's hard to even really after that game, I was like, I don't even want to do the podcast this week. Obviously I just had to get over it, which I usually do pretty quick, but yeah.
It's honestly better to talk about it. You can feel like you get your it's like venting.
100%, 100%, yeah. No, yeah, I just like that Jake guy, he goes on and talks about it right after. I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Yeah, that would suck, especially if it was a heartbreaking
if we grow the podcast more and there's more engagement in the comments, I think I would do it. But
yeah, I would do a live stream immediately after the game, or even a Thursday during the game live stream would be kind of sick.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah.
I didn't write on my whiteboard I wrote week 11, but I didn't write down Washington versus Philly because I forgot because I'm stupid.
I will. I'll quickly I did terrible this week. We could just take a look at our scores from week 10. We don't really got to go in depth with the games or anything like that.
No way, I cooked.
I didn't even realize we were already coming up on an hour mark here.
Yeah, that's why I got to the pick'ems.
But we could just take a peek. I definitely did terrible.
You got cooked, Steve.
So it doesn't look like Al's gonna make it anyway. So I really got cooked. This was a rough week. But week 11 is a new week.
Here we go. We'll insert Al's at the end, maybe.
I'll just tell him to go on and make them. He has the spreadsheet, so I'll just tell him to go on and make them before Sunday.
You got to make sure he doesn't cheat.
No, yeah, I'll look.
He wants the big prize at the end.
I'll tell him to. We got to come up with something for that.
The winner gets a new car.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. That's a good idea. So Washington, Philly.
That's actually a good game
That is a
nowadays.
good game. Yeah, I
It,
can't believe how
I
good
can't
Jaden
believe
Daniels is doing.
Washington's so good. Think about it. If this was last year's game, Philly would be favored by probably like 13 points or 10
Oh yeah,
points.
100%.
It's crazy how fast the NFL changes, really.
It is. It's insane.
It's
Week to week
true.
league, man. Week to week league.
Um,
I'm gonna take Washington here.
Washington at Philly. Washington didn't look good this week. Give me Philly.
Nah, they did. They put up like 28 points.
Yeah, but didn't they like barely squeak out a victory versus whoever they played?
No, they lost. They lost to the Steelers.
Oh yeah, they lost. See,
You
bad
want
week.
Eagles?
Philly. I don't know, just because I get that the Commanders are good, but the 2 times I truly watched the entire game in depth when they played the Giants barely beat Washington. I mean, the Washington barely beat the
I
Giants.
know.
And
The Giants almost beat
don't
them. Yeah.
look good. They
Yeah.
should have beat them the first time, but
Mhm.
Dable made the dumb decision of not bringing on a
Oh,
backup.
the kicker thing,
Yeah.
right?
Bro, see, that's why I know you like Dable, but he still does dumb stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even like I said, even in the Jets game against the Giants last year, like I didn't like his decision to just keep running the ball after
Yeah, he gave
after
no
Tyrod
faith
got
in
hurt.
he put no faith in Tommy Cutlets, bro. And then look what
Yeah.
happened 2 weeks later. Tommy Cutlets was actually decent. New
You
York
didn't need to
fans,
do anything crazy with him. It was his first game in, yeah, but you
yeah,
should have
but
thrown
like
the ball a
throw
little bit.
slants or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Giants fans I don't get, because they're like, bring on Cutlets, like they want to win. But at this point, you should 100% be wanting to lose. You should
Yeah.
go into every week want
I mean,
to
to be
lose.
honest, that's probably why Dable's still starting DJ.
Yeah, but I saw a Instagram thing today, and it was like it stated that if Daniel Jones gets hurt during the season, they have to pay him at the end
Really?
of this season. Yeah, if he has like a serious injury. So
Wow.
that's why a lot of people are justifying, I guess you could say, for Drew Lock to come in.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're
I
pushing for
think they
Drew
should have
Lock.
given Drew Lock a shot like midway.
I mean, I think they still can. They probably will.
But like before the season was over, I feel like it was worth it to give him a shot.
Yeah. I don't think Drew Lock's good at all either.
No,
I
of
don't
course
think
not,
Cutlets
but
is good either.
you never know that he could click with a certain offense.
Yeah, but do you really even want to sign him if he clicks? Like, what
For
happens if you put him in? He
5
plays
games.
pretty well for like 3 games, and then you're kind of just sitting there like, do we re-sign Drew Lock?
Yeah, and then he just starts playing terribly, and then you had those 3
Yeah.
wins for nothing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what you mean.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about.
Next game is Green Bay at Chicago. Chicago's looked ass, bro.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay, bro. I think Green Bay still owns Chicago.
Give me Green Bay as well. It's crazy because I saw a TikTok and it was like how fast the season can change. When Chicago was like 3-0, I think it was, or 4-0, all the Chicago fans were hype and stuff. And then after these past 3 weeks, ever since the Hail Mary,
After the Hail Mary, yeah.
yeah, they've
Yep.
just completely derailed, bro.
Yeah, that guy that showboated like really like killed their confidence.
Bro, Detroit's favored by 12.5. That's the
Yeah, it's
biggest
wild.
line I think I've seen.
These
all
are from
season.
DraftKings.
Oh my god, 12.5.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
wild.
Mac Jones is playing. Yeah, give me Detroit. Yo, Mac Jones is horrible, bro. I have Brian Thomas in a couple of fantasy leagues, and he had his worst game, of course, with Mac Jones.
What's up with T-Law?
He has a shoulder injury, but I didn't think it was that serious. But he's out again.
Yeah.
Like, I can't afford to keep losing him, bro. I need him in fantasy. I need
Yeah.
Brian Thomas in fantasy.
Yeah, my fantasy. I lost in every fantasy league this week.
You got cooked.
Yep.
Vegas +7 at Miami.
I'll take Vegas with that line.
Nah, give me Miami. Steve, we're going the opposite on everything almost.
To be honest, like I don't even know who I want to win that game because it's like you don't want Vegas starting to creep up. I mean, they're 2-8, but
I think you should want Vegas to win.
Yeah, you're right. You're right because Miami's 3-6.
Yeah. Next one is Rams 5.5 favorites at New England.
I'm gonna take New England. They've been like looking better with Drake May, and they're at home.
Yeah, I'll take New England as well.
I'm telling you, bro, New England's gonna finish with a better record than the Jets. I'm telling you.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I could see it going both ways.
That's how New England is.
The Rams didn't look good on Monday night, so that's why I'm kind of leaning New England.
Yeah.
Cleveland at
this is a tough one.
New Orleans.
I'm gonna go New Orleans though because they got the
toilet
momentum,
bowl, bro.
Yeah, they got the momentum. I'm gonna take New Orleans.
I don't like this one either. Yeah, just because New Orleans is home, give me Nola.
All right.
Baltimore at Pittsburgh. This game might be good.
Bro, I don't know. Pittsburgh's been doing well, man.
Pittsburgh has been doing well,
And the
and they're
Ravens
at
have
home.
the Ravens lost again, didn't they? No, they beat the Bengals in a crazy matchup.
Yeah, they beat the Bengals in the crazy Thursday night
I don't know.
shootout.
Steelers at home. Mike Tomlin plays well against the
I
Ravens.
think Pittsburgh, honestly, just
Yeah.
because if Baltimore was home, I think I'd take Baltimore.
Also,
but
Baltimore is still favored somehow.
yeah, it's just because when Baltimore wins, they dominate.
I know. That's true.
Like that's why the
Um,
Chiefs will squeak out victories. I know you said it's the scripts, but they don't look that dominant. Like
they don't, but that's the
Baltimore
thing. That's how they
annihilated
always are. That's
teams.
how they always are in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, they start to dominate.
Yeah, they just turn up.
Patrick Mahomes is insane in the playoffs. But if watch this, bro. The Panthers play the Chiefs this week. I bet you they lose. I bet you the Chiefs lose this one.
You think so?
Yep. Oh no.
That
They play Buffalo, the Chiefs. I'm sorry, but they play the
yeah,
Panthers soon. They play the Panthers soon.
that's gonna be a good game too,
That
bro.
should
Like,
be, bro. How is
why
that
is
not the 8 o'clock game?
that's what I was just about to say too, bro. These come on, bro. Kansas City versus Buffalo is not a night game.
Crazy.
Instead, we got Dallas versus Houston. They should flex the Monday night game.
No. Sunday night is well, you know what it was supposed to be this week, right?
Jets and Colts, right?
And they
Yeah,
fucking
but
they
who
flexed
wants
it.
to watch that?
Thank God.
Yeah, but they flexed it with Dallas and Houston. They should have flexed it with Kansas City and Buffalo.
Bro, but you know what's crazy to me? When they made the schedule, they really said, yeah, Chiefs and Bills are on this night, but Jets Colts sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I guess the only way that would be good is if the Colts and the Jets were actually good, but even still, I would put
Yeah, but
Kansas
if I would
City
say
versus
before the
Buffalo.
season, I would predict that game to be if I was looking at that game before the season, I would say the Jets were going to steamroll the Colts.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, the Jets are going to be like 8-1 at that point or some stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I get it, but even still, bro, you should always have Kansas City and Buffalo a night game.
Okay, I agree, 100%.
Like this last Thursday's
and you
game
flexed
was
it.
the
You flexed
best
it. You had the
Thursday night game.
opportunity to put the Chiefs and Buffalo game there.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Although I think this Thursday night game should be good as well. The Philly and Washington, Minnesota at Tennessee, -6.5. Tennessee's defense is low key looked good. Give me Minnesota though.
Minnesota.
Moy.
I'm gonna go Jets here. I know.
No. It was inevitable.
I don't want to do it.
But
I tried the whole not picking the Jets thing, and it didn't work because they lost to New England.
3 is such a good line because if it was 3.5 for the Jets, I would truly take Indy. I think the Jets are gonna. I don't know if they're gonna win or lose.
If I was ever this is all delusions aside, bro. Like the Jets win games like this. I'm telling you, they need to stay relevant, bro. This is a Jets dub.
Give me the Jets, I guess, bro. I really don't have faith in this.
There we go.
I think Jonathan Taylor is literally gonna run all over the Jets.
He is, but the offense will keep him in it.
You think so? The offense didn't keep him in it last week.
If you want to take the Colts, you can.
I don't even know. This is truly a coin toss. Should I have Siri flip a coin?
Sure.
Siri, flip a coin. Jets or heads? Oh, it's heads. All right, give me the Jets.
All right.
All right.
Denver, Atlanta. This should be good. I'm taking Atlanta off a loss.
I'm taking Denver. Just because they're home, and Denver's good, bro. Denver almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, they are. Their defense is stellar, man.
Their defense is amazing. Sean Payton low-key cooked on what is it, Bo Nix.
Who's their defensive coordinator? Ben Johnson or something?
No, Ben Johnson is I think the offensive coordinator of the Lions.
Oh, word.
I don't know who the Broncos defensive coordinator is. I'd have to look at that one. Seattle at San Francisco. Seattle is 6.5 underdogs. So San Francisco is projected to win by 6.5. It auto-corrected to Steve.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna go with San Fran here. They've been on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, give me San Fran as well. McCaffrey's back.
Yep.
The 4:25 game that should be at 8:00. Chiefs at Buffalo. Who you got?
I don't know, man. The last regular season game was the Bills one. At Buffalo, bro, give me the Bills. The Chiefs ain't going undefeated.
Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, the Chiefs are not going undefeated, and Josh Allen is playing
sir.
caliber right now. This game, I don't even know who you want. I guess no, you want the Chargers to win.
Do you?
I don't know, because look,
if you're the Jets, you would, I think, want Cincinnati to win.
No, because then that bumps Cincinnati back up.
You're playing for the playoffs? I'm playing for tanking purposes.
Yeah, see, Bengals are 4-6. Chargers are 6-3. So Chargers have you want the Broncos and the Bengals to lose this week, because you're going for the Broncos spot if you're the Jets.
Oh, yeah. So you're playing to make the playoffs. I'm playing to tank.
Yeah.
So Chargers. Bro, you just make your picks based upon what would benefit the Jets. You don't actually look at the lines.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was Denver. I forgot we're talking about. We're talking about Cincinnati here. I agree. I think Cincinnati will win.
Yeah,
dude, they are the worst. They are the best 4-5 team I've ever seen.
Dude, Jamar specifically this season, like,
oh my god,
dude, Joe Burrow leads the league.
Touchdowns, bro.
Joe Burrow leads the league in passing yards. Jamar leads the league in receiving yards, and
crazy, man.
And Trey Hendrickson, their defensive end, leads the league in sacks, and they're 4-6.
So wild, bro.
It's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And then we got Houston at Dallas. Bro, Dallas is ass.
Houston's on a 2-game losing streak, bro. I'm taking Houston.
I think Nico Collins is back as well. Give me Houston.
All right, these are some good picks, people.
Dude, I need CD to pop off in fantasy, though. Cooper Rush,
he's been
not
mid,
getting
bro.
it done.
Well, we don't got to rush off, but do you have any closing thoughts?
So my closing thoughts are Giants losing every single game for the rest of the season would be a positive. The Jets need to go on a run. Buffalo needs to beat the Chiefs and bet the over.
Yeah, I agree with all of those points. I don't know what to say about the Jets. I want them to make the playoffs this year. I'm all for it. This is all in season, so keep it going. Worry about the Colts. Don't worry about anything else. Win the week and bet the over.
Thanks for
everybody for watching, and check out the TikTok.
Check out the TikTok. Check out the Instagram. And check out the Spotify.
Yes, these are all uploaded on Spotify as well. Or wherever you get your podcast. If we're missing something, let me know.
Until next week, guys.
Yep.